couple of suggestions that Mr. Johnson and Ms. Galley did incorporate into the language, so I'm satisfied.
Thank you.
And the bulk of it is in existing ordinance.
Correct.
So there's pretty much the changes are what you mentioned already. Any other discussion, council? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Move forward, should do chapter 42, which is the letter portion of it, but it's only 3 pages.
Jim, resolution number 0422-46, receipt of bid and award contract for library tuck pointing repair project. Council, as you mentioned, this is the one with the other sheets we got.
Yeah, they just attached the long bid in last month's, last meeting's publication. But actually, if I can refer you back to page 67, it's got all the appropriate correct information, which I gave you at last meeting, which showed, it's in the resolution of 1422-46, where we showed the bids for the base bid and each one of the alternatives. And on that whole bid, I gave you summation depending on base bid plus any alternatives you wanted to award as part of the project. And with that, I guess our recommendation from Mandy and I think consensus from Katie would be to award the full project of base bid plus all 5 alternatives in the total amount of $248,000. And on the resolution itself, and when you get down just below that listing, do that first, and whereas it appears that Innovative Masonry Restoration of Prior Lake is the lowest responsible bidder for the base bid plus alternative bids, cross out the period and add alternative bids 1 through 5, if you would please. So it shows that if that's what you chose to award, or whichever base bid plus any or all of the alternatives is how that should be finished up, I guess, to be correct. Does that make sense? But again, we would recommend the total package, we're gonna save so much getting mobilization costs if we were to rebid this, making sure we get the same workmanship and so forth. And I think Stephanie indicated that there was some question as to whether or not ARI was under contract, and that's a contract that was approved about a year ago that includes construction services as well.
So council, speaking with the administrator earlier today, this project for all practical purposes is 100% funded. We're a little light, what, about 20,000, 28 or something like that? But we have the grant in with Iron Range Resources where we're reasonably certain we're gonna get that additional money, which part of that goes to this. So unlike the next one, this one actually is pretty darn close. And I think it makes sense to do the whole project because, mobilization. We're done if we do it, so.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor, for resolution number 0422-46
So we'll do the base bid with the 5 alternates.
with all of the, everything. That's okay to Google.
Good. Legit. Is there a second for April's motion?
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you, April. Further discussion on that item? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Resolution 0422-47, receipt of bids and award contract for 2022 street rehabilitation project. You want me to talk?
You want to start?
Well, I will,
You know I always talk, so.
yeah, I know you will. So, council, the only thing I can say on this is, we're trying to build a public safety building. It's a big glowing number. We have all this money tied up. And I think we should hold that one more working session, which is set up to be scheduled before we approve this project, just to see what we're gonna do with the, what we're gonna borrow towards that building. I talked to Jim. We have until May 18th or something where you're,
We had 60 days.
We have into June before we actually have to approve it, so we're not behind the ball. Like you said, we need to talk about borrowing $1.5 million towards that public safety building or more to try to fill that last little gap, to see what we got left for these projects, so. I would like us to hold off on it, but I'm only one person here.
Table it for now.
So we'll just move this item to the next meeting. We'll be ready by then, right? Is that okay with everybody? All right, Jim's last item, resolution 0422-49 approves plans and specs in order advertisement for bids for the 5th Street Southeast project we talked about earlier tonight.
Basically, we held the public hearing tonight, and following the close of that public hearing now, the project will move forward. I would encourage you or recommend that we adopt resolution 0422-49, which is approving the plans and specs and authorizing advertisement of bids. We're looking at receiving bids May 18th and bringing them back to the council for award, hopefully on the 25th of May. So with that, I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Council questions, or I'd be looking for a motion to approve the plans and specs and go out for bid on that project.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Councilor Lance made a motion to adopt resolution 0422-49. Is there a second for that?
Support.
Thank you, Marty. Further discussion, council? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Jim. Have a good evening. Larry? Come on up. Come on down. Resolution 0422-50, declare garbage cans as surplus equipment.
I promise to be shorter than Jim.
I don't know how you couldn't be.
Jim is all good stuff though.
959, 959, he's only 5'8.5".
All right, thank you. So if I could just, so the city of Hibbing, our friends to the west, are in desperate need of garbage cans, with the supply chain problems and shipping and that they absolutely just can't get garbage cans. We have a surplus, so they reached out to us, and with your approval of resolution number 0422-50, it enables us to declare some garbage cans at surplus and sell at replacement cost to the city of Hibbing.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Dave.
After we say if all of us agreed to have surplus, right? Are we gonna have some left over just in case
Yep.
citizens want to purchase?
Yeah, we have 310 cans right now in surplus,
Okay,
and we're selling 150.
okay,
So we bought 2,500. This is the newest garbage system. There was industry standard we went with. We tried to do a survey of the community, and we got some pretty good response. What size garbage cans you might need, but we had to get extra, so we make sure we got everybody. And we have 300 extra, and they have a 10-year warranty. And if they sit in the sun for 5 years, well, now you got 5 years of warranty left, and you haven't even used them yet. So if we can get them to a community that
Yeah.
needs them at replacement cost, and then we can buy them in 5 years when we actually need them, and we get a new 10-year barrel warranty again. It's just really good business too, so. And we have I apologize for the long answer, but we do have 310, we'll sell 150, so we'll have 160 still, so.
that's
So
good.
we'll have enough for damages, the snowplow hits on, an RV, a trailer backs over one here and there, that type of thing, so we'll have enough, I believe, for sufficient for a few years.
Thank you, Larry.
Attorney Lindsay, let me ask a question real quick. When I originally read this, I'm like, God, this don't seem quite right. Cause my thinking is when you declare something surplus property, then anybody can buy it. We're not but normally when we're declaring surplus property, it has no value to the city anymore. Basically, we have no use for it. Basically, what we're doing here is we're trying to help Hibbing because they can't get cans, we have them, and we're not losing money. We're selling them new cans for more than what they cost us because they sell for more. So, any concerns?
No concerns, Mayor. So that's absolutely a valid question. Typically, when we do this, we are declaring things that will have no future value for us. And what we're really saying by this resolution isn't necessarily that they have no future value, but that we have a specific specific amount that are surplus, we don't need them immediately, and I think Mr. Folstad's presentation that we can preserve some warranty by getting new cans in the future and help our neighbor out, and the fact that we're getting them, getting the actual cost, it doesn't create much of a concern, and we're selling it to another municipal body, which also is helpful, so I've got no concerns with this.
So just how it's written, I'm looking for a motion to adopt resolution 0422-50, declare garbage carts as surplus equipment. So that's what we'd be looking for, council. Could I get a motion to do that?
I'll make the motion, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Marty, second for that?
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second part of this, sell the garbage cans, carts to the city of Hibbing.
That was the informational, Mayor, sorry. I skipped it ahead of the little tutorial and then we
Oh,
got the.
okay, sorry. Well, let's go on to your next item then.
Very good information here, folks, all St. Louis County, residents is, we're all open to this flyer. It's a good way to get rid of, sometimes you moved into a new home and that had paint cans or something in the garage, or aerosol cans that you don't know what they are, or old bulbs of, say, fluorescent bulbs and such like that. And you don't really know what they are, but these people will help you and they'll take some of this, most of it free of charge, as long as you're a small generator. Like, I think if you show up with a pickup truck from a business, then you're not longer a small contributor. But this is a really good resource for folks, and I do like to share it. The downfall of it is, it's right after, it's the week after for the Vulcan site, after our citywide cleanup, so, yeah, it's every year, and we try to be in front of it, but it's just the way the schedule goes, so. But there is other, apologize, there is other sites to utilize, like in French Township, which is in Side Lake, so truly a nice ride up there as well, if we need to get rid of some stuff. I really wanted to share that with you, we get a lot of questions, so.
So what do we do with this thing?
Just informational.
Should we post it somewhere?
Well, we hand it out at the citywide cleanup, so, and we do talk to them, because we'll get people that bring batteries, or, like I said, these bulbs, or things that they don't know. We don't really take it, but we help them get rid of it,
Is it something we could put on the city Facebook? Would that be possible?
I think we could put it under the garbage on the website, maybe.
We can just do it together when we do ours. I'll just do like a.
Yeah, good idea, we'll update our plan and get it out right away, too. Yeah.
Is there a real list of what you consider hazardous?
I don't, Mayor, but I'd have to refer you to the flyer. I don't know the definitions of each. Certain amounts, like dry paint is not hazardous waste anymore. You can dry it on a tarp, you can dry, open can, throw in the garbage is garbage. But wet, I believe it's hazardous. So, things like that, Mayor, I could help with, but
Yeah, I was just wondering, I mean, if I was to get this flyer in the mail, I would be looking at a pile of stuff, wondering if I can bring it still, or if it's a hazardous. 'Cause
well, they'll help you. These folks help you when you bring it. That's on the certain days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
professional.
understand that, but you already drove there to find out, you could've just thrown that away last week in Chisholm's dump. That's what I was trying to, I mean, is there a real list of what?
There is, on the county website, truly there is.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm sorry, Mayor, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what,
Yeah.
I was just trying to get what's included in this.
Correct, yep, and they're very specific, so the information's there if you wanna dig for it on the county website. It's there.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
alright, so informational, we'll move on.
And then, looking for, make sure I'm in order here, is, your council support for the updated cemetery sexton / utility posting, or job description, mind you.
So you're looking for motion to approve the updated job description for the
Correct.
cemetery sexton.
Basically, if I can, I'll add a little content in here that, the business at the cemetery's changed over the years. At one time there was never cremations, and now there's columbariums, and, we don't do as many full services anymore, so there may be times where an employee at the cemetery can help out other, departments within the city and work on the team, so I've updated it, and approved by Administrator Scrabble with those changes, so.
And the union has reviewed it.
Yeah, I sent
According
it
to
to
your
all the
memo.
union, the leadership, including the business agent, Mrs. Stahl, and I got no comments or
Council looking for a motion to approve the job description for the Sexton utility person.
Make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Second.
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next thing Larry wants to do is post internally for the, this position. Larry?
It is a labor grade one ASME position, so we expect, someone from within the ranks to, get into that position, so I would just ask that, and, that we, just post it internally as the, hiring policy states for the 7 days. Contractual, also within the ASME contract,
Okay,
7 days internally.
okay.
Mayor, if I may.
Yep.
I just want to remind the council with our new hiring policy for internal postings, I can approve those. It doesn't have to come back to council for final approval, but if it's an internal, just for clarification. on
Correct,
that.
so then, the next, yeah, I'll follow up with that as well.
Okay, council, we're looking for a motion to post internally for the Sexton utility position.
Motion.
Thank you, Travis. Second.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Last item, Larry, appoint hiring committee for Sexton utility application. Do
Thank
you?
Mayor. And then finally, to review the internal candidates, to the qualifications, I asked that we send a small hiring committee, probably within, supervisors and such, that we can review the documents, when the posting closes next week, and then make a recommendation to Administrator Straba, which she can then appoint, next week. So, I would suggest, who can be here next week, Mandy, Vern, Tammy, it'd take 10 minutes to review, so. Mandy will be here,
You got a third one?
Vern will be here, perfect. Freeze the charm, Mayor.
Council to appoint, Mandy, Vern, Larry
I'll make that motion.
for the hiring committee. Thank you, April. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Larry. Tammy, resolution 042.
I just need a point of clarification on Larry's first two items. What I heard, and I apologize, but I heard that you adopted resolution 422-50, and then does it require a second motion to approve the sale to the city of Tiffy?
It's in the resolution, if you look in the resolution, I reviewed it. Take a look at the resolution.
So they're combined?
Yeah, I mixed them up.
Okay, thank you. I apologize.
Yeah, well, that's the question I was asking too, cause so when we selling them, so. It's in the resolution. All right,
Yes, I'm looking for approval to accept the resolution, for busing services that is provided by Community Ed, but actually the buses come from the school, but the donation is actually coming from Community Education, and these are for all of our field trips for our summer rec program, such as bowling, archery, parks, that type of thing.
council motion to adopt resolution 0422-51, accept a donation from Community Ed and definitely thank them again.
Motion.
Thank you, Travis. Second for that. April? Thank you. Further discussion?
Good job.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Tammy. Healthcare facilities revenue bonds. Pages 86 to 10,000, no, 169. Brian, this is all yours. I don't even know what these are, so you're gonna explain it to the council.
Thanks, Mayor. And I'll start by saying this. I had a conversation with Administrator Scraba about including these in the packet. What I'm gonna ask the council to do tonight is treat these as, this set of documents as informational, but I did think that it was important that they come to the council because as we initially had discussed this, the bond issue and the role that the city plays, as essentially kind of a fiscal agent more than a participant, I thought it was important that, that the council would be able to see these documents to see how each party is treated and how the responsibility is actually with the private entity as the borrower per se. And so, as for tonight, we can treat these as informational. There have already been some significant substantive changes to the documents, filling in some of those remaining bits that you see from these documents, making the terms more specific. We, as a city, have some opportunity to participate and have additional changes made. So if there are any of those as you go through that you see, that you have questions or you have changes, I can try and entertain the questions now. Or if you have requested changes, please pass them along to me and I can make sure we get them up to bond council to deal with.
So what are we really doing here?
Right.
Talk to us about what we're doing to help,
So-
also known as Heritage Manor to most people, but it's like Chisholm Healthcare, I think they call themselves, you know.
Correct, so what we're doing is, by I don't know if partnering is the right word, but by participating in this bond issue, it allows them access to bond funding, which is a more advantageous way for them to fund, their project. And essentially what we're doing is acting as a fiscal agent, so, Heritage Manor, their operating company, is responsible for these bonds. They're financially responsible for their repayments. If there's any sort of default, the city is never on the hook for this. But by participating, it allows them access to this form of funding as opposed to alternate loans or things that could be obtained as funding mechanisms. Does that answer the question, Mayor?
Yeah, so why would they want us to participate?
Because they need a government agency in order to use bonding.
Okay. So do you wanna do something with this tonight, or just information?
We could just treat it as information for tonight. Eventually and ultimately, we'll bring back, more finalized and updated documents that the council will need to approve. So I just thought it would be very helpful to get it to the council ahead of time so that we have more opportunity to digest it, because obviously it's about 86 pages long. So not light reading.
And it was written by an attorney.
And
Robert?
how much was the bond?
I think the total issue is 17 million.
Mayor and council, I just wanted to add something to that. That debt is also known as conduit debt, which is, part of our audit, process. Those amounts are verified and represented on our audited financials every year. We currently have some conduit debt with St. Francis.
Correct, and this will refinance and add an additional amount to that.
All right, informational then.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Stephanie, contract for confidential administrative assistant Susan Trunk.
So with the retirement approaching of Margaret, we have conducted the interviews and have a top candidate that has agreed to move forward with the process with us. So in your packet here is the contract that would be for Susan Trunk, who would be the new confidential administrative assistant, very similar to what Margaret holds now. So I'm just looking for a motion to approve the contract.
Stephanie, just quick question,
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor.
Yep, go ahead.
Is this basically, the same contract as our other confidential secretary? Same mirror,
Very similar.
anything different that?
I don't,
They're the same,
they're very, yeah, very similar contracts.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make that motion to hire Susan Trunk as our top candidate for confidential administrative assistant.
Are we, is that right?
I'm sorry,
Right.
Approving the
I
contract.
think we're gonna approve the contract first.
Then we have a resolution next.
We'll let you do that one too. So you're making a motion to approve the contract?
Contract, yes,
Perfect, thank you. Second for that?
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne.
sorry.
Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, resolution 0422-52, and this is to appoint Susan Trunk as confidential administrative assistant. Starting date would be?
Monday,
One day.
Monday, May 2nd, so she will be able to train with Margaret for 4 weeks, have some council meetings in there, and,
Nice.
yeah, so that's very valuable that she's able to have that time with Margaret.
So looking for a motion to adopt resolution 0422-52.
Make
Appoint
that
Susan Trunk.
motion.
Thank you, April. Second for that?
Support.
Thanks, Cheyenne. Further discussion? favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 0422-53, trying to get a little more money towards the public safety building since we're need a little more. So that's what this is about.
Mhm.
Looking for a motion to adopt resolution 0422-53 to get it into the Range Resources Grant Cycle. I think they would take it up in their June meeting.
Motion.
Thank you, Travis. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Marty. Further discussion?
Thank you, Stephanie, for filling that out.
And to Mandy, she's been assisting with that, so.
Thank you, Mandy.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Schedule special meeting for Public Works. Why don't you just take that?
So this would be, we need to schedule a special meeting, the recommended date would be May 4th, to appoint, that would be the end of the internal posting that we had just approved. So I would recommend that we schedule a special meeting on May 4th. Can we add the Parks and Rec to that also?
Well, so let me back up a little bit. So we have, is May 4th when we're doing the Truth in Taxation already? Or I mean,
Correct.
Board of Appeals and Equalization, sorry. And then we would do this one following that.
Correct.
And what do you need to do for Parks and Rec?
We could be hiring somebody at that time, but I don't know for sure.
We can do that, yeah, we're in a meeting here, so we
Yeah.
can, if we wanna do that. So what's, administrator would like to do, we already have the, Appeals and Equalization, the continuation on May 4th. I don't even know when it is, 5 o'clock, was it?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Anyway, so we'd look at holding this meeting after, and if they're ready to hire Parks and Rec, we would also have that continue right into that. So what we'd be looking at is, a motion and to hold this special meeting and at this meeting, we would be probably internally posting for if we have movement within, right?
Mhm.
So for example, this position moves to the cemetery, we would be posting internally for this at this meeting.
Yes.
Okay, so the meeting would be, if we have movement, we'd internally post. If not, we can talk about an external post,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
And we will, if Parks and Rec's ready to go for Tammy's retirement, we'll take that up, so. And we'll do those meetings following our other meeting in that order.
Mhm.
And I need a motion for that. Does that make any sense?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Second for that.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Update on Redhead, Stephanie.
We already heard from Pat Cassingham from IROC, and thank you for IROC for all your work that you do at Redhead. It's really beneficial for us to move forward with the park. Within your memo, we have the information of our big races, so the council is aware of what will be going on this summer. The Renegade Trail Race by United Way is still determining the date for September. It's looking like either this, potentially the second or third weekend, I believe, in September. So just informational at this point, unless there's any other questions.
I don't have any questions other than, just to comment. Last year, the Schnorr ride, which they're gonna request again, I think it's on like the 12th or something, I think he's thinking. So, just informational for the United Way, because they were both on the same weekend, and they hold it out here, and they were trying to get ATVs through. So, if they have an option, maybe we should let them know that,
It's good to know.
that
Definitely.
we may be able to avoid a conflict while they're still
Mhm.
deciding on a date. I think for some reason that either the 10th or the 12th, I thought was the Saturday.
It's the 10th.
The 10th?
Yeah.
Okay,
That
so,
was one of them they were looking at.
so we should at least let them know.
Yeah.
We did it fine last year without an issue, but
Sure, yep, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Stephanie. Is it possible to let like the downtown businesses know, or is there a way to be able to become a vendor, or know that they can offer delivery service during that time, or to the folks up there?
Yeah, we can do something, so these events are not all ran by the city, none of them are actually run by the city. So there are different organizations that put them on, we can let them know that we support our local businesses and to reach out to them. Yep, and we do a pretty good job of that already, but yeah, we can just reiterate that.
Yeah, and the high school race has, specific guidelines that you have to follow, and I know that they limit, like you just can't have 100 people up there selling things, like there's
Yeah, there's
specific
restrictions on some of
requirements
them.
and restrictions, so we take that into effect too, or into consideration too.
And then with, you know, us taking control of the lease up there and working with the fair and stuff, I think we're gonna, kinda be the spearheading any camping during some of these events, so.
Mhm.
There was some question about that last year, so. Alright, so that's information, huh? Alright. Schedule working session for projects, Stephanie, when are you gone again?
So I leave, I'm at a conference next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And I'm gone all week.
Let me just pull up my calendar. So you're gone 4th, 5th, 6th. Council meeting's on the 11th. How about the 10th?
Tuesday, the 10th? That's fine.
Nothing else on that day? You wanna do it early, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 5:30?
5 sign.
5 o'clock?
I'm gone that day.
What about Monday?
I'll be in Carlton.
How about
Tuesday.
Monday?
I'm available on Monday.
How about everybody else?
We have a Zoom meeting.
Oh yeah, we have the
But
public
that's at
safety
3:30.
bill.
That's at 3:30 though, so we should be able to do it at 5.
Do it after that.
So 5.
Is that enough time for the public safety? What are we gonna discuss on that?
I think it's just an update. We should be able to do it, an hour and a half should be enough, I think, yeah. We
Alright,
could almost do it in here, actually.
5 o'clock on May 9th. May 9th. Okay, so we'll hold a special, it's actually a working session, it's not a special meeting. We'll discuss our projects that we have and try to figure out where our funding gap is and how we're gonna fill that. May 9th, 5:30, 5 o'clock. Motion?
Make that motion.
Thank you, Adam. Second?
Support.
Thank you, Travis. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Last item, just, to me, I always leave these open, but the motion to post that we have one position open on a park and rec board for a 2-year term and one,
There's 2 actually in this one, Parks and Rec.
oh, we do have 2 now? Okay. 2 positions. We got a typo there. So we have 2 positions on the park and rec, 2-year terms. And then with the passing of our good friend Steve Zalick, we have a vacancy to fill on the Public Utilities Commission. It would be fill the vacancy through 2023. So motion to just post those board openings.
Motion.
Thank you, Travis. Second.
Support.
Thank you, Cheyenne. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anything miscellaneous before we move on? All right, motion to adjourn.
Do you have a copy of the resolution from 1949 for me?
We'll have Mr. Lindsay try to find it.
Yeah, I've got it electronically, and I have forwarded it to the city. So it's within the possession of the city, so I'm sure if you filled out a data request form, they can get you a copy of it.
I will do that, thank you.
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Thank you,
this
April
meeting.
2nd.
Support.
Thanks, Cheyenne. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned.
Brian, do you want me to add this on the bottom?
Look at my agenda.